Imu obliterates Luffy on chapter 1188. Oh my god, I didn't expect all of this to happen like in this chapter. I thought maybe we were gonna focus on Brook and Shuri, but nah, bro. I thought maybe we can have like a moment with Sanji getting conquerors. Nah, bro. Instead, Oda gave us something crazy. It's really crazy. So let's get into it. Chapter 1188 starts with a phone call. Joy Boy is calling Imu. You know what's crazy about this moment is, were they close or were they enemies? But I kind of have this theory that Imu and Joy Boy, they were like cool, but they were all attracted to Queen, who's this lady from Alabasta, Lily. They all were like crushing on her, but she chose Joy Boy instead of Imu. That's what made Imu to be this villain that he is right now. But on their call, they just introduces themselves that, hey, it's Joy Boy, and Imu is like, oh, it's Imu. But it's something that makes me say, hey, were they close? Why were they even calling each other? And Joy Boy smiles. Looks like Luffy's, bruh. There is a theory that someone said that Luffy might have been sent from the past to the future. Remember, Toki has that time fruit, so maybe something similar like time traveling. But I'm not sure about that. But I'm kinda in this theory that Joy Boy and Imu were close friends before. But Imu says, hey, why do you awaken my memories? We are back to the present. He asks Luffy, why do you awaken my memories, bro? Because you're definitely not Joy Boy. And Luffy's like, how would I know, bro? I don't know what you're even talking about. We all know that Luffy is dumb, right? And then Imu tries to land the punch. Luffy dodges. But what's crazy is, as Luffy dodges, Imu pulls the same move that Luffy pulled on Katakuri when he first showed us Snake Man, like bending the powers mid-air, and Imu does the same thing to land a solid hit on Luffy's head, bro, and he sends him to the ground flying and causing a huge explosion. Bro, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of powers does this guy have? Because somehow it also kind of feels like it's a combination of Big Mom's powers as well, like the homies, bro. I'm like, hey, bro, what kind of powers does this guy have, bro? Luffy gets up and he tries attacking, but Imu dodges. And Luffy's like, bro, come on, bro. I landed a punch earlier. Why am I not landing one right now? And Imu is like, okay, let me show you how to do this. He throws up the gang signs, bro. He puts that stigma again. The same thing that he did to put Loki down, he does it again to Luffy. But Luffy dodges. But as I said, that his powers right now are kind of similar to Big Mom's homies. The bombs start chasing Luffy, bro. The bombs start chasing Luffy, and Luffy is running away, bro, because it's really crazy at this point. Imu is just standing in the air, but he's being chased by those bombs. And Luffy beats them, and they bomb. And Luffy's like, okay, you know what? Let me pull up one transformation. He turns into a genie, bro. Like, I don't understand what this was supposed to do, bro. First of all, I was like, what the hell? I think he's gonna dog walk Imu, bro. But nah, bro. This genie, it did nothing. So Luffy turns into a genie, and he's like, you know what? I watched your fight with Loki. So when I was reading this part, I was like, maybe you can defeat Imu if you're a giant, or maybe you can stand a chance. You right? But he says, okay, Luffy says, I was watching the fight with Loki earlier. Don't think that guy's death will be in vain. And Loki's like, what you mean? Before Loki's reaction, I was like, what do you mean? Because I don't think Luffy's someone who can just joke around with, especially with death, you understand? So he's like, that guy's death won't be in vain. I'm like, wait, is Loki dead? And then Loki's like, bro, what you talking about? I'm still alive. But at this point, I'm thinking Luffy was trying to protect Loki so that Imu doesn't attack him. You understand? And then right after Loki says, hey, I'm still alive, Imu launches an attack on Loki. And then Jinbe blocks it. And then he's like, hey, Luffy, just focus on this guy. We will protect Loki. And then Luffy's like, yeah, make sure you protect that guy. That guy is our pal. And as I told you last time, that Loki is literally an official straw hat at this moment. Luffy's like, hey, bro, protect our pal. That guy is our pal, bro. Loki's like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? You understand? Look, Loki doesn't want to be under Luffy, but he's like, what the hell is this ninja talking about? I'm not associated with you. And then we get Brooks' moment where he's saying, hey, this guy has to be above the Holy Knights, but the only people that are above the Holy Knights are the 5 elders. And he's like, I don't think there's anyone above the 5 elders. Only he doesn't know, right? Because he's like, hey, this world government thing is shrouded in mystery. He doesn't know that they are dealing with the king of the world at that very moment. At that very moment, they are dealing with the person who's above everybody, who controls literally the whole world, bro. And then Brooke and Frankie are focusing on Shuri right now. They're trying to get her out of the ice. And Imo is like, wait a minute. How does this guy with an afro know that this is Shuri? Because that's Ganko, bro. How do you know? Remember, Ganko is Princess Shuri. So Brooke is calling her by her real name. And Imo is like, how do you know that's Shuri? Don't tell me you were... And then as he's still thinking, Luffy launches an attack in that genie mode, right? And then... like, bro, like it didn't phase Emu, bro. He blocks that and then he starts launching his own attacks, bro. Chasing Luffy down. You understand? And then he pulls another move, bro. He calls it the Blade of the Void. Bruh. I'm like, okay, what is he gonna do? What happens is the whole forest that they are in, the flowers, the leaves starts withering. And I'm like, okay, what is he gonna do? Even Luffy's like, hey, what is this guy trying to do, bro? What is this guy trying to do? What's happening? Because everything is withering. The forest is withering. And Imu says, oh, now it's clear. The road is clear. It's like the forest was kind of making it hard for me to see you. Now I see you. And he says, I don't think you can be Joy Boy. Because Joy Boy would never be this weak. While he was launching an attack, bro, he steps Luffy right in the chest, bro. I think my nigga is in heaven right now. I think he's in heaven, bro. He literally dog-walked Luffy, bro. He dog-walked him, bro. You remember the first time Luffy met Kaido? Yes, he landed some hits and nothing and all of that. And Kaido just took him down with one solid move. The same thing happened with Katakuri. He tried fighting, but Katakuri was just levels above Luffy. And this is the same thing that is happening right now. Imu took him down and said, bro, you cannot be Joy Boy because you are too weak. Now we're going to go back to what I was talking about earlier. Does this mean that they were close and they fought after the Lily situation? And that's how he knows how strong Joy Boy is. And now he's like, okay, you might have the similar powers, but you cannot be him, bro. You are not him. And now the question is, remember, Luffy has been in this situation before with Crocodile. Crocodile stabbed him. Kaido took him down, unconscious. And now are we going to get Gear 6? Because with Gear 5, he definitely failed. And he has to step up. He has to bring something different right now in order to fight with Imu. But the question is, are we gonna get Gear 6 on the next chapter? Or does this mean that we're gonna go to another time skip where Luffy's like, okay, I'm still weak. I cannot compete with this kind of power. We should take another time skip. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Peace.